Hey everybody, I'm back in another video. I tried to make my hair look like Ultimate Peter Parker's hair, but it doesn't look as good as in the comics. So we're gonna make it look worse. Perfect. Okay, so it's been a solid year since I've done one of these videos, but I couldn't really think of any ideas. Wearing a Spider-Man shirt, of course, because that's the way I roll. But we're gonna review Ultimate Spider-Man again. You know, the last time I just read Ultimate Volume 12, or at least parts of it, because I didn't feel like reviewing it, so I just read it for the heck of it. So yeah, these don't get a whole lot of views, but neither do my other videos, unless they're ASMR. But, yeah. So this volume is just like, it's got the Human Torch on the front, it's called Superstars, because it's basically just, like, Peter Parker's going to school, and he's interacting with... This is one of my favorite volumes, actually. I mean, again, like a lot of people, or not like a lot of... There's a lot, like, at least until volume, like, let's see, 19? Like after volume 18 or 19, maybe that's when I stopped reading, because it had a different artist, and I kind of just, like, stopped liking it. But yeah, like when Mark Bagley was still working on it for like the 19 volumes or 18 volumes, whichever one it was, it's like my favorite series. I know a lot of people say that. Some people disagree. I might need to reread it because I've heard opinions that say like, the storylines don't really hold up and there are plot threads that don't go anywhere. Like I've heard people say that, so I'm gonna probably read up on it again. But for the time being, I really like it. But this volume, it's just like a lot of side stuff. Like we start off and issues 66 and 67 are just like something one of the editors wanted Brian Michael Bendis to write. It's the story where Wolverine and Spider-Man swap bodies, and I think I like it actually. Like I know it's like not like the best story he's ever written, but I think it's a really good story. I think it's funny, like, because again, like this grown man, he can like drink all the beer he wants, and he's got healing factor, all that stuff. He's got to deal with like being a teenager again, even though even when he was a teenager, it wasn't like a typical teenage life. So he's got to deal with like the typical teenage life with spider powers, of course. And then like a teenager that's got spider powers has got to deal with being a hairy, gross mutant with claws. So it's kind of interesting. And I like kind of like the more like adult humor. Like there's like a page right here where Peter, or Wolverine technically I guess, is at school, and he's like Mary Jane's like, Peter, hello, oh hey, you. Do they let them walk around school like that? Like, I just kind of like a funny joke because he's like staring at the cheerleaders because they wear the, the skirts and the shirts, whatever. Do these have a name? Are these shirts? I don't lead the cheers, so I don't know. And there's a funny little bit where Wolverine as Peter has to web swing. That's kind of funny because he doesn't know how to do it. He just gets like stuck in the midair. He's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Real funny and stuff. So yeah, and that eventually gets solved, and then we go to our next couple of issues where oh yeah, and there's that scene too. Also, is this the scene? No, that's a different volume. My bad. So we get to the Human Torch story arc part. So they send Johnny Storm to high school. So, Johnny's going to the same school as Peter. And Liz Allen falls in love with him. So, they start, like, Mary Jane, like, asks Johnny out for Liz. Like you do in high school, because you're too awkward to talk. And, they go, like, on a date, and then it's, like, a group date, though. And, Johnny flames on, if you will, and things go bad, of course, as they do when you figure out you're dating a fiery freak of nature. So then he kind of goes into hiding a little bit, not into hide. He it's like he starts looking like that, and he doesn't show up at school as much. And then there is Spider-Man, like Spider-Man's kind of like his hero, kind of. Spider-Man's his hero. Yeah, that sounds right. So, Mary Jane's like, come on, Peter, he's really sad, and he really likes Spider-Man. So why don't you go and cheer him up? So Spider-Man shows up. He's like, hey, Human Torch, don't be so sad. And then Johnny's like, oh, I don't know, it's not that simple, Spidey. And then there's a fire on building on fire. So the Human Torch and Spider-Man go and they're like, oh no, I'm Spider-Man, and in the Sam Raimi movies, that's all I did, so I better go save the fire. So he goes and saves the fire from the kid. And Johnny's like, that was so cool, we saved people. It was great. And yeah. Then they go public. Yeah, Johnny's like, we're gonna go public, So, and then, earlier in the issue of the Human Torch, Mary Jane and Peter plan a hot romantic date. So we're teenagers, we don't do romantic things. We go to your basement and make out, and that's your aunt tells us not to do the hanky panky, even though nobody says hanky panky anymore because it's 2018. Aunt May, get a life. Even though this is not written in 2018, you get the gist. I'm trying to be funny. Calm down, Aunt May. So we meet them on their hot date, on their hot romantic dinner date, because it's so hot and romantic. And Mary Jane's wearing this black dress and it's super sexy, and you're like, wow, Mary Jane, you're super sexy. Oh wait, you're a teenager, so it's not good. I'm not gonna say that because that's illegal, kind of technically. I'm 17, so it's not technically illegal. Anyway, back to the story. She's also fictional. Anyway, back to the story. So Mary Jane, they're sitting down. They're like, it's really expensive, so we're gonna have to eat bread. And there's a joke about that. So she starts asking them all these questions. And then Peter recollects his recollects. There we go. He recollects about his day. And he helped fight Deathlock. I believe it is. Deathlock. I don't know. He's got to have some sort of name. I'm pretty sure his name is Deathlock. He does not call him that in the story, but that's what he looks like. And the Ultimates are fighting him. So, the Ultimates are like, hey kid, what are you doing here? You're a teenager. Get out of here. You're just some punk old kid wearing a spider suit. I'm Iron Man. Get out of here. And thing is, this is one of my favorite scenes in all of the Spider-Man history comic book stuff. Every adult I talk to is so angry about whatever nightmare they created out of their life. All the things they didn't do, the girls they didn't ask out, the life lessons they never learned. They are so angry that almost every word out of their mouths is angry. And they don't even hear themselves. That guy could say thanks and shake my hand. I wasn't asking for a parade. I was asking for, I don't know, just not sarcasm. I'm so sick out of everyone's mouth being so angry that it's making me angry. You hear me? I'm angry about angry, and I'm not even being ironic. That's just one of my favorite lines out of the whole series of Ultimate Spider-Man comics. It's just really, because to me it's kind of relatable, because adults are always angry about their lives, and they're always being condescending jerks. At least that's my perspective as a stupid little 17-year-old teenager. That's just my opinion. But I really like the the quote. So yeah, we're going through Peter's day, and then he does like a story with Ben Urich about Doctor Strange. So, because he wanted to be more like in the news section of things. He didn't want to like keep working at the little desk doing his computer stuff, because that's what Peter Parker does at the computer on the Ultimate Spider-Man. So he goes on a news report to Dr. Stephen Strange with Ben Urich, and things get a little out of hand, and he gets like knocked unconscious, and that's where we find out that this little date that Peter and Mary Jane are having is not an actual date. It's like a hallucinogenic thing going on with Doctor Strange's like stuff. So he's not even actually having a date, and then he starts realizing it's not a date, and then the nightmare starts taking over, and he imagines Aunt May dating Green Goblin, and Doctor Octopus kissing Black Cat, and like everybody, like, you know, all the people that he let die, like Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, they're all like hunting him down, like, Peter, you killed us, And then eventually Doctor Strange snaps him out of it, and then he's like, that was awful, why the heck did that happen? And then he just goes in his basement, and I guess, yeah, like before it's even over, you know, Mary Jane's like, you're gonna let me die, Peter, you're gonna kill me. And he has a vision of Mary Jane saying that to him in his head. And then he gets out of Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, and he goes home, and he cries in his basement, because he's like, oh my god, my life sucks, I'm Spider-Man, boo-hoo. And Mary Jane's like, Peter, I'm here for the date. And Mary Jane's like, he doesn't even answer. He's like, he just sits there and cries, because he's like, I really don't want you to die. Like, you're gonna end up dead. So then she just like sits there alone in the rain, and she's like, but tonight was our fancy date. And that's just really freaking sad, but I love it, because it's emotional. Yeah, hardcore. No. But I do think that's like, again, that's the thing I love about Ultimate Spider-Man, is because to me, like, Spider-Man Homecoming, again, like, that's not what I want my Spider-Man, because I want my Spider-Man to be like deep and dark, and this is like, this can be deep and dark, because, you know, Mary Jane's just sitting there holding an umbrella, she's like, just standing there out there in the rain, because Peter's like thinking about how he's gonna let his girlfriend die. That's just really depressing to me. Like, you know, why can't we have that in our Spider-Man movies, you know? Why can't we have some depressing stuff? So anyway, that's my review for the day. Hope you liked it. I would give this volume I'd give it A minus, because it's pretty good, but you know, you can't have an A plus all the time, right? Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Peace.